What up? This B-Boy Reg, funky fresh in the flesh, and we got a special guest today, Mr. Roast Spit.
What up, though?
What's going on with you?
Nothing, brother. I'm cooling.
That's what's up. So I'll be seeing Ro everywhere, man. Go down your timeline. You DJ?
Yeah.
Yep.
Everything,
doing the
bro.
3-man weave with Marwan and Ron Dan.
Yeah. Yes, indeed.
Promoting your music, Burn Rubber, and your latest project you working on is what is it? With Mitchell and Ness, right?
Mitchell and Ness, yep.
Okay.
You know, my new store is called 218.
Okay.
And Mitchell and Ness reached out to me to do to design a capsule. I think it's called like the Home Court Collection or something like that.
Okay.
That they're doing like with different cities. So they did one with a store called Corporate in Indianapolis for the Pacers. You know, somebody in New York, I think, for the Knicks.
Okay.
Like it's different cities and different stores, independent boutiques,
right.
in those cities that get the opportunity. And for Detroit, they reached out to me.
That's dope.
And you know, my man Mario Butterfield, y'all, you know, people probably know him as Dove. Amazing designer. He's like the lead designer on the 218 design team.
Okay.
So we kind of just got together and made history.
Okay. Where'd the name 218 come from?
So 218. So my original store is Burn Rubber.
Right.
Burn Rubber over the years have been shortened to BR.
Right.
And then the B is the second letter of the alphabet, and the R is the 18th letter.
All right.
Yeah, and it just
Rock
kind of
him
flow
the
like that.
18th letter.
And it's
Right.
crazy, man. It's crazy because like, so the reason we had got we had another store called 218. We had an original store called 218 that tanked. It just
Right.
And it was originally supposed to be called BR by Burn Rubber.
All right.
And when we filed for the like I don't think it was a trademark or something. We filed for something to be able to use BR by Burn Rubber, and we got a cease and desist from Banana Republic.
Wow.
Yeah, so we had to switch it up. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like we was already in motion with the store. We had to
Right.
switch it up. So I just kind of sat back and my name is Roland, but when I think of the R, the letter R, I think of Rakim.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
18th letter.
18th
right.
letter.
That's dope. So you had Burn Rubber. What year did you start that?
Well, Burn Rubber actually started in 2004.
Okay.
And then me and my man Rick Williams, my old business partner, we took it over in 2007.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. So talk about like the Mitchell and Ness project. They reached out to you, or it was something you already had like a relationship with them, or how did that come about?
Yeah. Well, I have a relationship. I have an account.
Okay.
So my store sells Mitchell and Ness, the authentic shorts and jerseys and stuff like that.
Okay.
So we sell it, and we have a business is about relationships.
Right.
And it's what it was crazy is, I don't think this had anything to do with it, but because I've been working with Mitchell and Ness, maybe since 2007.
Right.
And but my new rep, she's been my rep for maybe a year and a half, 2 years now.
Okay.
She's from Pontiac.
Wow.
Crazy.
Okay,
She's from Pontiac. I'm
Right.
from Pontiac, so I think she was familiar with who I was. But when I, like the first conversation we had when she was like introducing herself as my rep, like the first 10, 15 minutes was just
Right.
about the crib. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But she lives out in Illinois now. I think she's based out of Illinois or something like
Okay.
that. But she comes back home.
Right.
So she's been a major played a major part in this collaboration and helping us kind of. We're doing some amazing things like the store right now. The release is today.
Right.
The store right now, like it's the floor is the Pistons court.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
and
dope.
then like it has our logos, Mitchell and Ness. We're taking the boys' 7th and 8th grade basketball team from Pontiac Middle School
Right.
to the game tomorrow.
Okay.
To the Pistons game tomorrow.
Yeah.
So she's got everything in order for us.
Okay. That's dope. So you like starting Burn Rubber, because we know, well, I know you from hip hop pretty much, right? And from Burn Rubber. When you started Burn Rubber, did you have any like formal schooling, or did you go to school for business or anything like that, or you just kind of how did you learn the business side of things?
Man, fresh out the frying pan into the fire.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? No, I didn't.
Right.
I went to Eastern Michigan University for business,
Okay.
but never got into my major.
Okay.
I just kind of, whatever those first classes are, those like, the first year and a half, 2 years of classes you got to take, not, whatever, I don't even know what they call it, but you got to take classes to get to your major or whatever.
Right.
And I didn't get out of that. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? So that was the idea and the thought process. But I didn't have no training. I just I've been going off my gut, since
Right.
2007, bro.
Okay.
Or maybe a little bit
That's
before
dope.
that with the music stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So what were your influences as far as music was concerned?
Influences. I mean, I had a lot of influence. I would say originally, I mean, I could go back to, like Run DMC and LL Cool J
Right.
and all that. But I think, that's what made me fall in love with hip hop.
Yeah.
And it's like it's stuck to me. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? But I think I fell in love with the thought process of it had to be like Jay-Z, like 90, 95, 96-ish.
Yeah.
That whole East Coast wave. It was, it was Hov, it was Nas, it was Biggie, and I actually was on Wu-Tang a little bit later. The South, you did a number on me. You know what I mean? Outkast. West Coast, just anything from like early 90s to like 90, 97, 98. And then as far as like making music, it was all my cousin, One Below.
Okay.
Yeah. One Below was my cousin. And, he kind of made me see that it's possible.
Right.
It's possible to do. And like, you just have to have your goals and your expectations.
Right.
That's
dope. So with the so you had a project out with Nick Speed, right?
Yeah, Coney Island.
Coney Island. Yeah, that was dope. I like the song concept, the concept of the album.
Oh, the album.
Island. Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah.
So what are you working on? Are you working on something now as far as your projects, your music concerned?
Yeah. So I'm not really pursuing anything in music.
Okay.
I'm just kind of doing it because I feel I'm still good or I feel like I'm getting better.
Yeah.
But I'm not pursuing like stardom.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
if we do the album, I have a fan base of people that buy what I put out.
Right.
I make some money off of it. We might do some shows. Like with the Coney Island, I DJ and Nick Speed DJ.
Right.
So most of our shows were us going.
Wait, hold on. You DJ, is it DJ No Request?
Yeah, DJ No Request. I'm changing, yeah. So we had this tag team DJ set that we had been doing, you know what I mean? And then like even before that, Rose Gold was the album I did before that. Okay. And we toured, you know what I'm saying? We went overseas, we did a couple shows here. And then it's kind of like, do that, and then do the next one. And like right now, we're about to start back. We're about to start on Coney Island 2, me and Speed.
Right.
But currently, I'm like finishing up Rose Gold 2.
Okay.
With my man KT.
Okay, that's dope. So the reason I asked that is because like I'm glad you said that. We talked to a lot of rappers. We actually interviewed quite a few people that's in their late 40s, 50s. And they like, oh, man, I'm going to give it up and this type of thing. But it's like you're rapping for the love of the art. And you're not trying to, you're not expecting Def Jam or something to come out.
Nah.
But you just doing it for just the love of hip-hop.
No, I'm not. No,
okay. All right.
No.
Yeah, I want to make sure we clear on that.
Yeah. So I get what you're saying, though.
Right.
What I'm doing it because I'm a creative.
Okay.
Right. I can't not do it. You know what I'm saying? I wish I could turn it off.
Okay.
I wish I was it's like the passion is gone.
Okay.
The passion for it to like let's just say whoever is here. I can't think of nobody, but whoever's a big name rapper, right?
Right.
Benny the Butcher.
Right.
I don't care if you think he raps better than me.
Okay.
I don't care if he's like, yo, I'm the illest MC. That's cool, bro.
Right.
It's kind of like basketball. I used to hoop and like you couldn't rip. If you rip me, I'm on you.
Right.
And now like I don't hoop no more. But like I got to a point like if you rip me, it's like all right, listen, well, come on, bro.
Next play.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's kind of how I am. And the reason I still like go to the studio, because like I said, these thoughts are in my head.
Right.
These sounds are in my head. I'm seeing these things, and it's just like I do it, and I go to the studio and record it, and to me it sounds incredible.
Yeah.
And if you push play when it come out,
Right.
I appreciate it.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But the passion is completely gone.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So going back to the business side of things, you mentioned earlier that one of your stores, was it a store that failed or that particular company? Because you said that was like a Burn Rubber,
By Burn Rubber.
By Burn Rubber.
Yeah.
All right.
So we ended up calling it 218.
Okay.
And it failed miserably. Right. It was like 2000. I want to say 2010.
Okay.
I think it was just a little bit early. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
I think I mean, I have 218 now, right?
Yeah.
So what happened with it? It just didn't pan out. I think it was too close to Burn Rubber. The idea and the concept we had for it just didn't work. So we completely dissolved it.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And it was just like, so then, fast forward to last year, I had the opportunity with, Nike reached out to me and asked me to open up another store.
Right.
And because of some things going on with the, not anything bad or anything, just legal things with Burn Rubber and the name and the intellectual property of it.
Right.
It's grandfathered into the one store I have.
Okay.
But if I was to open a second one or a third one or fourth one, I have to talk to my old business partners and work it out. And if it, and business just has to make sense. If it doesn't make sense, it don't make sense. So then I just started it. I kind of pulled 218 out of the trash, dusted it off, and
here we are.
I just reopened it.
Now, was that I think you were doing something outside of Michigan, right? Was that
That was a Burn Rubber Tampa.
That was okay.
That was another thing that failed miserably.
Okay.
Well, not miserably, but it failed. You know what I'm saying? It just wasn't right timing. We didn't. That was a licensing deal with my man. His name's Omar. He's from here. I think he grew up in Southwest.
Okay.
And he moved to Tampa. His family moved to Tampa like 12, 13 years ago, something like that.
Right.
And his family's like in the meat business, meat markets and stores, and he's like, in his early 30s.
Yeah.
And, he trying to do something cool.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yes, he could go on with his family's legacy, which he probably is, and probably making a lot of money doing it. But it's just like he's in the sneakers, he's in the fashion. So we tried to work out this licensing deal, and it was some things that was out of our control. With Nike and Jordan brand, and really the big three, Nike, Jordan, and Adidas, and they didn't open us down there.
Okay.
And then it just, it kind of just fizzled out.
Okay. And the reason I bring that up is because a lot of dudes, we know, you probably know a lot of dudes that's like, oh, I'm going to start this business, I'm going to do this. But you were actually in a position to do a licensing deal with somebody else or possibly do a franchise of your store. So a lot of people don't set up their entities in a proper way to allow them to do business on that big. How important is having a business structure so that you can partner with Mitchell and Ness and these other companies?
Oh man, it's the most important to me. If that's what business is.
Right.
So it's like if you have to own it. If you don't, that's why, even in music, they say own your masters. So because at any given time, you might want to do anything with it.
Right.
If you don't own it, you can't do anything with it. Because it's one thing if you make 15 shirts and sell them or give them to 15 people, but when you're making, 300,000 pairs of a Jordan, that's going out to the entire world.
Right.
Can't be no mix-ups, bro. It can't be a person that own this bird logo and in some rural spot in Austria or something.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, So because they're coming, I need all that money.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Just like if you put a Nike check on anything, once it gets to a certain level, they coming to like, yo, that's mine.
Yeah.
So to be able to partner, you got to own. It's too, and that's what I do. Right.
Okay.
I've decided a long time ago that didn't know how I was going to do it. that I wasn't gonna work for anybody.
Okay.
I can only purchase and partner.
Right.
In business. That's all I can do.
Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah, and even like now, it's getting to the point from DJ No Request.
Yeah.
It's getting to the point you can't even book me.
Wow.
Like you can't. I'm not doing no weddings.
Right.
I'm not doing no birthday parties.
Right.
I do my own events.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And now, if you want to do an event, we can partner on an event.
That's dope.
And make it something if we can, if it makes sense. But yeah, those days is kind of over. You know?
Yeah. DJ No Request is not for hire.
Yeah, not for hire. I'm gonna put that.
Not for hire.
Yeah.
But for partnerships.
Yeah.
Right. That's dope. So, man, because a lot of people, and the reason I keep bringing up the business part and the paperwork, a lot of people got hustle. Mm-hmm. They just like, oh yeah, I know how to do this, or I can make this or whatever. But for some reason, we just don't get the paperwork right. We don't get the right structure. So you just a prime example of having the right structure together.
Yeah.
Right. How did so you partnered with Jordan Brand for the Flint Jordans, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, it wasn't a Flint Jordan, but
right. It was kind of okay.
Yeah, it was more like a
Well, everybody on the street call them the Flint Jordans. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, probably people in Flint.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because, people in Pontiac call them the Pontiac J or the Roll Spit J's, and people in Detroit call it the Detroit. And it was really just the purpose of it was to celebrate and pay homage to Southeastern Michigan.
Okay.
But the thing is, there's, Detroit is the heart.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
But I'm from Pontiac. So that has to be represented.
Yeah.
And then Flint is Flint. You know what I'm saying? It's just coming from being from down this way. Let's just say being from Pontiac, which is kind of in the middle, right?
Right.
There's people, and a lot of people, it's kind of mixed. It's like you either go south, you go to Detroit and do your thing, and kind of like, man, I don't even really go to Flint.
Yeah.
Or you kind of go to Flint and be like, man, I don't even really go to Detroit like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So to me, it's this place that holds a dear space in my heart because, some of my closest friends, wives, are from Flint. You know what I mean?
Right.
Just people that I know have an attachment to Flint.
Right.
And it sometimes people kind of forget about it.
Yeah.
It's weird to say, but and then what's going on, how it affect how with the Flint water crisis,
right? And
how the world's eye was on it, at a point in a negative way.
Yeah.
I just wanted to paint Flint in a positive way as much as humanly possible, and still let people know that this thing is still is going on. It's like a couple years ago it was on every news. And now
you barely hear
you kind of like, oh, they good. It's like, no, it ain't really like that, fam. So I just wanted to, it's funny because in all the press release and everything, I didn't put anything we sent out. I didn't put anything about that part of the like the Flint water crisis on the shoe,
right?
Because I didn't want it to be taken over as the Flint water crisis shoe, right? And I didn't want it to be taken over as the Detroit shoe, but when you put it out there to the world, it's theirs.
The world decides. Kind of makes a name for it.
Yeah, it was crazy to hear. I'm on Facebook and not even on Facebook, just people be hitting me up like I got my Roll Spit J's on, my Roll Spit 2s on. I'm like, that's crazy,
right?
Because the whole time I was saying that I didn't want to. I knew me being the owner of the store, right, that I would be placed in this position as far as just like people get the acknowledgement of it. But I wanted to be out of it. I didn't want it to be the Roll Spit J's, the Roll Spit 2s. I didn't want to take all that credit, and you know what I mean, to that extent. I wanted it to be pushed to the store, to 218, or to, even if it's Detroit, whatever it's gonna be.
The brand. That's good, man. Because most people ego wouldn't allow them to be like, I want to be out of it. Like, call them the Roll Spits.
Yeah,
yeah, that's dope.
I appreciate it though. I appreciate it.
Right. I remember seeing you perform one time, and it was like with the Corona bottle. Yeah. And just, you still do that, man?
Nah, man. I'm 43, bro. I'm about to be 44.
Right.
I try. It hit different.
Yeah.
Because I just, it's funny because I guess I always kind of perform that song. Okay. So when I first started doing it, I was, in my late 20s, I think. And I used to, we used to chug. Take them to, And then when I got to like my mid to late 30s, and I was still doing that, we would like drink the bottle, like, you know, drink half of the bottle,
Yeah.
and then get on stage and kind of, you know what I'm saying? And then we started doing like cans,
Right.
like beer cans.
It got smaller.
And then it just started, you know, it used to be, you know, like, you know, you drink it and then you kind of get back to rapping.
Yeah.
And then they start getting to the point, I'm drinking, like, taking a step back, like, like, whoa, you know what I'm saying?
Right. It ain't the same.
Yeah, no, I can't do that no more.
That's dope. So, talking about the hip hop side, I keep going back and forth because, like, again, man, if y'all go on Road Spit timeline, y'all gonna see all these different parts of what you are and what you're doing, right? So, from the charity with the kids, like you said, y'all taking the kids to the Pistons game tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
All right. And then on the hip hop side, how did being from Pontiac influence like your sound and everything? Because you mentioned y'all had that Flint connection as well as the Detroit. So everything from maybe like the Dayton family all the way down to, I don't know, Awesome Dre, all them cats
Most Wanted,
down here.
Mm-hmm.
How did that impact your sound coming from Pontiac?
I think immensely. I think because it's all encompassing, right? Where not have, you know, well, no, it was a Pontiac scene, you know what I'm saying? Like QTMC, Bomb Threat, you know, it was people out in Pontiac doing their thing.
Okay.
But as far as like when I started making music, it was just, I just felt like I could do whatever I wanted to do.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because my cousin and who I came up with, is like, I don't want to say, I hate saying backpacker hip hop, but it's hip hop to the core, right? Then, you know, the people I'm rolling with, they rapping streets, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it was just like, well, I'm kind of over here, and my ear is to that,
right?
Like that's what's catching my ear, and that's what I love. They don't even really understand it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like my cousin Lo, he didn't really you appreciate it, but he like, nah, man, I'm doing this, right? But and then at the same time, I come from a hip hop lineage, of like just all the way, you know, to the early days, and that's what I love. So that's why I was always here, and that's what I respect, and that's what I always wanted to be, You know what I'm saying? So but I knew that I wasn't particularly either one of those, personally, right? I'm not a street guy. I dabble, but I'm not. I can't say I'm the biggest cocaine dealer, right? Don't even want to say that, Man, I'm not so hip hop that I am so hip hop. I'm just I'm in this middle place. I'm just in this middle place where I just feel I'm dope. And whatever you get from me is gonna be my authentic self. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of stuff I rap about now is jewelry and like it's jewelry because I'm buying it. I'm like real estate business, showing people like pay attention to these things. You know what I'm saying? Like kind of what we were just talking about. So that but that's
speaking of the jewelry real quick, I remember because I'm in real estate too. I remember I think your wife had sold a house or something, and you was like, yeah, now I can bust down this Rolex.
Yeah, I did too.
I was like, oh, you really did bust?
Yeah.
Oh, man, that was a fat commission. I don't want to say what the price of the house was.
No. So,
but that was
that was a joke. That was a joke. She didn't pay for my bust down. She actually bought me a bust down Cuban bracelet though.
Okay.
Yeah. That time. But no, I bust. I make decent money. You know what I'm saying? So I bust my own rolly down. But no, I did say that on that post though.
That was funny. Yeah. So so on the hip hop side, because having that Pontiac feel and having that influence from both sides, like I listen to, actually, I know more of the battle rappers from Pontiac than I do the other artists. So like Ill Will, JC, and all them dudes. How did you start really connecting with some of the Detroit artists like Marv One and all them dudes as well?
Man, I kind of just went down there.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, to be honest, this is I told Marv this, like when I first was because I was DJing first,
Okay.
and I was, I'm DJing and I kind of start rap freestyling and stuff with my homies and start making music and I'm rapping and I'm like, man, I want to get out here. I want to do shows. So I tell people to this day, if you want to do shows, go to the place you want to do shows.
Right.
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 You're gonna meet a promoter. You're gonna meet a DJ. You
Right.
got to build with those people, and then when they do a show, they'll, you know what I'm saying? Like if you're there, it just makes sense. So what I wanted to do was because being from Pontiac, it wasn't the easiest to kind of just like, hey, Guilty Simpson.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like he was, and I'm not saying guilty, but like he's always been cool, but just anybody, just going in these spaces because I didn't grow up around you. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
So my thought process was, I'm going to reach out to these people and place myself in their space.
Right.
Right. So there is a connection from somebody that don't know.
Right.
Just if they see me standing next to them while we're out. Right.
Right.
But I'm gonna do songs with these people. Try my best.
Right.
Not to show that not because I think I'm better.
Okay.
Right. I just want people to see that I'm just as good. Right. So, yeah, and like so for instance, I reached out to Marv from the early days.
Okay.
To do a song with him just so people could be like, wow, he's dope.
Yeah.
Wow, he's dope too.
Right.
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 And in that we've become great friends.
Right.
He's one of my best friends. But originally it was bro, I'm doing a song with you because I want people to hear that somebody's hasn't heard of me.
Right.
Is gonna hear this.
Right.
And all I don't care if they say I'm better than you, because I never tried to rap better than anybody. Right. I just tried to rap as good as I could. And I think I want to say I learned that when I met Guilty. I want to say Guilty told me that. You know what I'm saying? I think we had a conversation. I believe it was Guilty. We had a conversation, and he was saying that like he does the best he can do because nobody can do him better than him. So even if you get on a song with Royce the 5'9", who's one of the best to ever live,
right?
Literally, right?
Right.
Yes, he's one of the best to ever live, but he's not me.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, you're gonna be the best.
I'm gonna be the best me.
Right.
And that's good enough.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? That's how from that point, that's how I always thought about music. I don't care it could be Jay-Z, it could be whoever. I'm just gonna, because they're gonna do them amazing, and I'm gonna do me amazing.
Right.
And that's all that matters.
Man, you're going to have a lot of people picking up the mic again.
Please don't. Bring the camera at. Don't do it. Please.
No, I'm saying because, again, I said this earlier, like, it's a lot of dudes out here we talk to. And even, like, when we interviewed Jack Frost, he was like, I don't really rap no more, but if I hear a beat that speak to me, I start back rhyming.
Yeah.
But then some dudes we talk to, we're having these conversations and they like, man, I am dope. You know what I'm saying? They get that confidence back, not to go back out and be a superstar, but like you said, the creative process, they're in love with the creative process.
Yeah.
And for some reason, we get older and we kind of get that up, right? And I was saying, nobody's saying that about the 45-year-old garage band,
right?
The white dudes that's going out doing shows. But with hip-hop, it's like, oh, them the old dudes that's rapping. Like, why it don't have to be like that.
It really doesn't. It really doesn't. But it's like, you know, people say it's changing, right?
Right.
I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know if I feel that it's really changing.
The music changing, or
no, the thought process of like being old and rapping.
Right. Okay.
Because people will say like 2 Chainz.
Right.
Well, 2 Chainz was Titty Boy, bro. And
yeah.
he was hot. You know what I'm saying? Like he was a major artist back then. Maybe he wasn't the most major.
Right.
And then they'll just say these names. It's like, no, bro, this is that's Ice Cube, dog. You know what I'm saying? Like whoever it is.
Exactly.
Now you do have these artists that are starting to now, you know, like Griselda.
Yeah.
Like those, I think those guys are like 36, 37, or maybe they might be a little bit older than that now.
Right.
And that, I think that's like a unicorn
Yeah,
type thing.
for them to enter into the game
and to be at
and
that
level.
level.
Yeah,
right?
at that age.
I think it's just, man, hip hop is a young man sport, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like there's certain things, and that's why you don't lose the love for it.
Right.
It's like basketball.
Yeah.
You just it's hip hop is like basketball, man. It's kind of like it gets to a point where you age out. Now, Rod Strickland is probably somewhere killing somebody on the basketball court right now.
Yeah, at the Y, just like
going crazy, right? God Sham God is somewhere doing that crossover.
Right.
But it's not on the level of NBA.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Right. Maybe 3-on-3 or something.
Yeah,
like that.
maybe
right.
the big three, whatever.
Yeah, the big three.
And so which is entertaining.
Right.
Right. And it get in you, it gets it feeds whatever part of your soul or whatever part of that like for basketball, right? It feeds that. But it's like, nah, man, it's just a young man sport. And that's just how I look at it. So even with me, it was a thing where like, so my man Dove, my man Mario, who was the lead designer, he was Proof's hype man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So we had a show in Chicago.
Okay.
Me, my man Ron Dance is my hype man. I was on the same management, under the same management company as Dusty McFly.
Okay.
So Dusty was out there. It's a young Dusty too.
Yeah, we out here.
We out here, Dusty, going crazy.
Right.
And so we go to Chicago. Wasn't a lot of people at the show, but whatever. We go on. Dusty is the headliner. It's like two artists before me, and then Dusty. And I'm like, dang, I'm a DJ. I ain't had time. So I know Rio. I know Mario is like he's a hip hop. Give it to him, and he's gonna turn it into some hip hop shit.
Okay.
Right? So I'm like, bro, I just need you to DJ for it. I just need you to push play and go to the next song when I need you to. Right. And we like 2 songs in, right? And I turn around and he's like crying, laughing. Okay, I'm talking about like almost bent over, laughing, right? To the point I think we kind of stopped the show. Like, bro, what is so funny, right? And he's like, I'll tell you later. And we finished the show, and after the show, I was like, bro, why was you laughing so hard, right? He says, bro, I looked up, and everybody on stage had gray hair. And I just can't believe it, dog. What are we doing here? It's all these children in the crowd. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I was kind of like, that don't mean nothing, because they're enjoying themselves. That's what at the same time, it's like, bro, we do have a head full of gray hair.
Right.
All of it, right? Beards, everything.
Right.
And his hair is platinum gray.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that was kind of like, this ain't for me, man. It's cool. Like I said, I still have fans. I still have people that respect, that appreciate, that support.
Right.
And I feed those people. And that's you know what I'm saying, because I can't turn it off.
Yeah.
I've tried.
Right.
I'm close though.
Yeah.
Like even to the point where I can't remember. I was just talking to one of my boys. I can't remember the last time I listened to a song.
Okay.
And just heard a song.
Right.
I'm breaking down.
You breaking down,
Man, the quality of that, bro, they could have mixed that a little better. Man, that snare, they should have used a different snare.
Yeah.
Man, he should have said, instead of just being like, yeah, that song is fresh.
And just enjoying the song, right.
Yeah, I'm getting closer.
Right.
Like to the point now I'm just hearing music and I'm like, yeah, that's dope. But it's always like 2 or 3 songs in. I'm like, dog, they could have mixed. They should have mastered this, dog. Like, damn, they should have put a drop right there and came back with a. And I wish I could turn it off, man.
Yeah, I say hip hop is a young man's sport, but a grown man's game, because the older you get, you recognize the game of the music industry. You understand music different. Yep. When you're young, you just doing it. You know what I'm saying? You're creative, but yeah, man. The other thing is like when we were coming up, you mentioned the Run DMCs and all that. During that era, it was weird to see a 30-year-old rapper, right?
Yeah.
Now,
they all look 30 back then.
They all look, everybody looked old back
30,
then.
40,
With them big sideburns, like Run and all of them. But then it was like, I think around the 2000s is when Jay and all them got into their 30s and they still dropping hit albums. And you like, okay, 30 is not that bad. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And then you start seeing 40-year-old rappers. You start seeing Too Short and Fat Joe and all these dudes still performing, still dropping hit songs. So I think it's more acceptable now. But like you said, it's still a young man's sport.
Yeah. No, it's definitely more acceptable than it's ever been.
Right.
Right. Because you could, just with social media, you can reach so many people, man.
Yeah.
And not even, and it like, the thing is, the kids don't matter.
Right.
You could make as much money as you want to make.
Right.
You can reach as many as people as you want to reach, and you don't have to even worry about these 16-year-old kids that's listening to whatever they listen to in their headphones, and you can be good.
Yeah.
So I think that's why it's more acceptable, because we can just naturally touch more people.
Yeah. And you can talk. You can rap about mature subjects.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas when we was in our 20s, we was rapping about, I don't even want to say.
Whatever.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And thinking about what you're saying, it makes sense that being older in hip hop, like making hip hop music at an older age now, because in the early days of hip hop, there was no people that were older, like hip hop was born.
Yeah.
Right? So it's not nobody that was 20 years older than them. They didn't even understand because they don't even know what it is.
Right.
Now we're 20, 30 years older.
Yeah.
And we know what hip hop is.
Yep.
That's literally hitting me right now.
Yeah, because we can still relate to the young kids. Like, our parents wasn't trying to hear. I mean, I'll be joking about this, but everybody's uncle favorite rapper was Kool Moe Dee back in the day, right?
Kool Moe Dee was crazy.
Yeah, but, because he sound like a grown man. He carried himself
Been
that
a long
way.
time.
Yeah. Shit. So then but now it's different. So, yeah, it's dope, man.
Yeah.
So, anything else we didn't cover, man? Butter asked me to ask you about boxing, and that's one thing I haven't seen on your timeline. What?
It's crazy.
Okay.
Because boxing is my most favorite thing.
For real?
Yeah. So I always wanted to box growing up. My mom wouldn't let me box. I used to kind of sneak over to the gym a little bit, and then when I got older, I started I really hate working out.
Okay.
Right. Thank God I've always just been a slim guy.
Yeah.
And not really had to do much of that, other than like I would just hoop and be straight, right? And then once I got out of college, but I always hated like the basketball workouts. I hate running suicides. I hate all of that stuff. But then when I got of age, my man Fortune owns Jab's Gym.
Okay.
He was a professional boxer or whatever. And I always just loved boxing, right? So we started going over there and just working out, right? Hitting mitts, hitting pads, and all that stuff. And then it's like you get in there, and you can only hit a non-moving target for so long.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna say everybody, but most people kind of go in there like, no, I never want to spar.
Right.
I don't want to get hit in the face, so I just go in here, hit these pads, and you get to hitting them,
right?
And then you see somebody sparring, and you like, man, I can get in there with him, man.
Yeah.
Then you don't, right? And then
right.
you hit, and then somebody hitting the pads or hitting mitts or something, and somebody looking at you like, man, you getting good.
Right.
And then eventually
that'd be the setup though.
It do.
Yeah.
It do.
You getting good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you like, man, get in there. And you like, man, I don't. And then you finally kind of just be like, all right. Most people say they go all body first.
Right.
Right. Which is actually, to me, is actually tougher. You know what I'm saying? And you get in there, you get hit a couple times, you see it ain't that bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, because most of the times, people, you play to your competition.
Yeah.
A professional can get in the ring with you, and he could kill you, right, or hurt you bad. But they understand that. Most people understand that, and they gonna take a light on you until you throw a heavy punch, and they go like, bro, I told you to relax,
right.
And then you keep going, and then they'll show you something,
right.
But most people it's like that. I don't want to say camaraderie. It's that level of respect.
Okay.
Right? And I've been over the last couple years. So I did a whole boxing like match. You know what I'm saying? Trained for it, promoted it, and all that stuff. Sold out the gym.
Right.
And
wait, you were boxing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, me and my man 6 a.m. We had a whole boxing it was 4 fights that night.
Wow.
Of like just guys, like people, people that rap, people that whatever.
Right.
And like my man 6 a.m. he went to school with Tony Harrison at Mumford.
Yeah. Okay.
So Tony was his coach, his boxing coach.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And I had my man Akio, my man Smoke in my corner. You know, and it was all in fun and games.
Right.
We had a good time. You know what I'm saying? And then I kept doing it, whatever. So then I got to just living this nightlife, DJing, rapping, doing all this stuff, and kind of, you know, I looked down and my stomach getting bigger, man, just all the beer and all the alcohol.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, I kind of want to bulk up.
Right.
And if you're into boxing, it's not really a bulky. It's more cardio.
Yeah.
So for the last couple of years, I got with my trainer. His name is Mark. Yeah, it's called the Fit Park in Ferndale, 9 Mile.
Yeah, I know exactly where it's at.
So the last couple of years, I just been kind of like, you know, kind of sculpting whatever this body is that I have.
Right.
But just the last 2-3 months,
I'm
like, dog, I got to get back in the gym, dog. I've been, you know,
Wait,
I'm
man,
shadow boxing.
You said you 43?
43.
And you, all right.
Yeah. And I started boxing, I was like 30, probably 38, 39 when we did that match. I can't remember what year, but I was almost 40, if not 40, when we did that match. No, I wasn't 40. I was probably 38, 39 and did that. And, but it's just a thing, man. It's like, that's the only workout that I completely enjoy. And it's the toughest workout you could do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's, you have to run. You don't understand how hard it is boxing,
right,
until you get in the ring with somebody for 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And I told one of my boys, you know, he one of them guys, you know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't gonna say he's a tough guy. He's an alpha male, right? Will fight anybody in the world in the streets, right? And I've been boxing. Yeah. And I'm like, bro, it's different. Yeah. Right? It's different. It's different. You know what I'm saying? And he like whatever, man. I said, bro, I'm telling you. Yeah. You know. So we threw the gloves on, and I said before the first round, you probably gonna be done. Right. No, man, no. We got in the ring, first couple maybe 30, 45 seconds. Right. We just kind of filling each other out. He caught me. Pop. I'm like, oh. Right. And so then right after that, I saw him kind of like start breathing heavy. Yeah. I was like, I was over. Right. Now, if he would have knocked me out, the fight would have been over. Right. But he didn't. Man, I'm just touching him. Pop, 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 pop. And like about a minute later, he was on his knee. Like, I can't tell you I'm done, dog. I'm done. But I was like, I told you, bro, boxing is different. I got the utmost respect for boxing. You could be 90, you could be 0-91. Yeah. The fact that you got in the ring with somebody and risk your life, because every time you step in there, you're risking your life. Right. And you know, that training you do to get to that point, right, I have the utmost respect. Yeah. So, because 3 minutes in that ring, different. Because most street fights really don't go 3 straight minutes. It's like 20 seconds. Yeah. Somebody breaking it up. Somebody breaking it up and somebody getting knocked out. Yeah. Or somebody talking for like 20 minutes and then punching, then running. Yeah. Right. That's what it is, That's dope. Yeah. So 43 in boxing in the ring. So do some of that discipline and training carry over to your business ventures, your music, creativity, and all of that? Like, you got a different drive? Yeah, definitely. Basketball, I always said one of my first questions now, not particularly like a direct question, right? But my filler is, if we going into a real business, not like we about to do a party together, but if we talking about being business partners and doing this, if you didn't play organized sports, I cannot mess with you, dog. Yeah. I cannot, because you don't even understand what it takes. Yeah. The thought process. Right. You don't get it. And I've been around people, and I'm like, man, why is this dude? Yep. And then he gets to talking like, man, I never played sports. I'm like, oh, there you go, right there. Right. So, and I'm glad you brought that up, because when I hire people for my business, it's either organized sports or the military. Same, which is similar. I'm gonna say I'll never say the same thing. That discipline. Yeah. What boxing showed me is what team sports showed me camaraderie. Yeah. Right. And like when we did all this together, right? Right. We fought each other in practice. Yeah. Yeah. We ran these suicides. When you was about to die, I picked you up, and when you was, I threw you a water bottle, like all of that. Right. Right. Because when we go to war, against this gym full of other people that literally could turn into the Malice at the Palace.
Right.
I got to know you got my back, dog.
Yeah,
Or we both gonna die in here, whatever, right? And what boxing showed me is that the self-discipline.
Yeah.
Because, I can be looking at you to help do this, and I got to play my part. But with boxing, it's not even your coach, not even the trainer and the guy that's been talking to you the whole time.
Right.
When you step in that ring, it's you.
Yeah.
And if you slacked, it's gonna show. If you didn't eat right, it's gonna show. If you didn't run those miles you're supposed to, if you didn't hit that them days, especially if that person on the other side of you did it completely,
right,
it's gonna show.
Yeah.
And you can't blame your coach, you can't blame your wife, you can't blame none of that.
Self-accountability.
100% self.
Yeah.
So one of the stories I tell is I was sparring with this dude, and I was kind of, we was kind of getting with each other, whatever, and then, we kind of started mixing it up. And he caught me, but it was because I did something that I know I wasn't supposed to do.
Right.
Right. And the reason I go at boxing how now or how I kind of was is because I know that I would stop everything in my life to make that right.
Okay.
Meaning, give me 2 months.
Yeah.
We getting back in the ring. I'm not going to burn rubber.
Right.
Maybe at the end of the day, I'm training every day. I'm doing something every day to get better.
Right.
So that doesn't happen again. Knowing that the reason that it happened wasn't because of him.
Right.
It wasn't because of nothing he did. It was because I made a mistake.
Right.
And that, and so that's why I don't go at boxing like to that level. I don't take it that not no more because my whole life will stop.
Yeah, that's dope, man. Mm-hmm. So that spills over to self-accountability and all of that, and spills over to your business acumen and everything. Mm-hmm. So man, for me, it's not boxing. I started taking up golf, and similar because I can do the same thing and get a different result every time. Mm-hmm. But it's nobody. Once you out there and you tee up, it's all you. Yeah. But I ain't got to be in. Well, you do have to be in shape to golf. People don't know that.
Yeah, no, but I mean, golf is. I don't golf. I know people that do, and I that's probably like that and chess is probably gonna be the next thing I kind of take up.
Okay.
But no, I've talked to people and they said it's a similar thought process because, it's repetition. Yeah. Right? Because the quarter of a centimeter tweak throws everything off. Yeah. And that is I know that's going to frustrate me. Oh, crazy, yeah, it is. Because I go to the Top Golf or the driving range and I can't control anything.
Right.
It's just, it might go here, it might go there. Yeah. Yeah, I don't get it.
Yeah, but it's just like with basketball and everything. So I got a saying at my office I picked up from somebody. It said, amateurs practice until they get it right. Pros practice till they can't get it wrong.
That's real.
Yeah, so when you boxing, golf, basketball, you practice until you can't get it wrong, and you wet like Steph Curry, and that's when that's when
that's when you become great.
Exactly. Yeah. So man, everybody, where do people find you on social media?
Ro_spit on Instagram. Ro_spit. I think Ro_spit on Facebook. The stores are Shop 218, so Shop TWO18. The Instagram Burn Rubber, I think it's Burn Rubber Detroit Instagram, and but really just Google, Bing.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Just whatever. Just type in Ro_spit, type in Burn Rubber Detroit, type in 218, and you'll find me.
That's what's up. And I tell a lot of people, like, everybody got their social media handles, but you real business when you say Google me.
Google me.
If you Google me, then you know it's a legit business. Yeah. So, that's what's up, man. So this is B-Boy R.E.G checking out Funky Fresh in the Flesh with my man Ro_spit in the house, and we out.